put your life in the hands of that pilot, what would you do if you learned the jet you were boarding was to be flown by someone who is grossly underqualified and was hired over other pilots just to fill a racial quota? The passengers of United Airlines Flight 863 were able to experience this firsthand. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, their flight encountered one of the most practiced airplane emergencies, a failed engine, which the quota-hired pilot mistook for a blown tire. The pilot mishandled the recovery so badly that the giant Boeing 747 dipped low enough to set off car alarms and barely cleared the San Bruno Mountains by 100 feet. Here's the predicament. Due to United Airlines' commitment to being seen as an affirmative action employer, this quota-enhancing pilot was hired over more competent and experienced pilots, putting the lives of 307 passengers at risk. Now, you may be assuming that this is an isolated incident. Unfortunately, it's not. Preferring someone based primarily on their minority race status is a growing dilemma across the nation. This preferential pattern has resulted in frustrating, life-threatening, and in some cases, even fatal results. Patrick Chavez, a minority applicant to the medical school at UC Davis, was accepted in place of a more qualified applicant, Hale, who is not a minority. This case received national attention, went all the way to the Supreme Court. What eventually happened? Chavez finished medical school, got his license, and went on to establish a gynecology practice near Los Angeles, where he performed liposuction, a procedure for which he was not qualified, on numerous female patients. He ignored the complaints of pain and refused treatment to 3 of these women who had seriously hemorrhaged as a result of his bungled procedure. When one of these women, Tamaria Cotton, went into cardiac arrest and died, the Medical Board of California was finally able to revoke his medical license. Giving Chavez racial preference for admission to medical school did him no favor. Instead, it put lives in peril. I think we all agree that a minority student or employee has just as much potential to succeed as any other applicant. Sadly, racial preference policies cast a bad light on minorities who worked hard for their positions, because they are then grouped with people who achieve those same positions only after standards were lowered for them. African-American presidential candidate and passionate civil rights activist Alan Keyes declared, "Preferential affirmative action patronizes American blacks, women, and others by presuming that they cannot succeed on their own." Advocates of affirmative action cast ethnicity as a disability, which simply encourages another form of discrimination. Preferring any group based on racial or ethnic characteristics is dangerous, demeaning, and ineffective. Discriminatory hiring practices are already illegal. Preferential hiring practices should be illegal too. In 1995, a bill was drafted to end policies of preference based on race. The Equal Opportunity Act was introduced, but never passed. The National Policy Institute has posted a petition which encourages Congress to pass this bill. If if you believe that we can, as Ryan pointed out, change and form a colorblind society, one in which each citizen will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, then I encourage you to consider signing this petition. Simply type affirmative action into a Facebook search box, and the petition will be the first result. If this bill were passed, hiring would be based on real qualifications, ability, training, skill, experience. Ambitious, bright, hard workers who feel assured that their diligence would be rewarded in the workplace. Support the fight for merit-based hiring and admissions policies in this land of freedom, and we'll be one step closer to achieving opportunity for each and every American. Remember, man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh